Every year, millions of car starter batteries have to be replaced in the US alone, often leaving drivers stranded. What if we told you there's a simple solution to help prevent that? Today we're reviewing the NOCO Genius1, a compact trickle charger designed to keep your car battery in peak condition. Ever left your car sitting for too long and found the battery dead when you tried to start it? We've all been there. 12-volt car starter batteries are mostly built with ancient lead-acid technology. These are a far cry from today's lithium batteries, which power laptops and electric vehicles. Lead-acid batteries are a cheap way to get instantaneous power to start a combustion engine, but they have lots of limitations. They have a short lifetime and are easy to overcharge or over-discharge, and with increasing in-car electronic loads, they have to power a lot more than just a starter motor. A trickle charger is a must-have tool to maintain your starter battery. It's a small device that slowly charges the battery, maintaining it at an optimal level without overcharging. This is particularly useful for cars, motorcycles, or boats that you might not regularly operate for long distances, so the alternator doesn't get a chance to charge the battery sufficiently. The NOCO Genius1 is one of the most advanced trickle chargers on the market, and today we'll put it through its paces. Let's start with the unboxing. The packaging is a bit nicer than you get with most automotive accessories. There's a mix of matte and gloss finish. We see a picture of the device and a mention of it supporting 6 and 12 volt batteries, charging it up to 1 amp, hence the name Genius1. The back talks about the maintenance concept: extend your battery's life by keeping it at a healthy state of charge. On the side, we see the box contents: the charger with an 85-inch cable, then a 21-inch cable with battery clamps and eyelets. The connection between the two cables is what NOCO calls X-Connect. There's a 3-year warranty. The bottom says this is recommended for batteries up to 30 amp hours in capacity. That's just based on charging speed, which we'll cover in a bit. Let's open the box. It says 1914 on top. Interestingly, the NOCO company has been around since 1914, when they started producing a battery corrosion prevention chemical called no corrosion, or NCP2. Inside, we have a mini brochure showing X-Connect cables with different clamps, an option to charge your car battery through the cigarette lighter plug, and an X-Connect extension cable, which might be useful. Then some AC extension ports, mostly for boats. These are jump starter batteries, which are for when your battery is fully dead. Moving on, here's the device itself, which we'll put to the side for a second. Looking more closely at the clamps, you can see they're actually M6 or 6mm eyelet connectors integrated inside. So if you want to use those instead for a more permanent connection, they're an option. These are spring-loaded and provide a good grip. And on the other side of the cable, we have NOCO's X-Connect connector. In between, there's an inline 2 amp fuse. Here's the manual. The charger has different modes that dictate its charging behavior: 12 volt regular lead acid, 12 volt AGM lead acid, 12 volt lithium ion, 6 volt lead acid, and a force mode that helps repair super discharged batteries. We have an estimation of charge time, though obviously this depends on the starting state of charge. The Genius1 also has a thermal sensor to adjust the charging cycle based on ambient temperature. Here we have an explanation of the LEDs showing charging status and errors. Here's a diagram showing the different LEDs and the button. The Genius1's safety features include spark-proof technology, reverse polarity protection, and overcharge protection. And some specs: the charger is rated at 15 watts of max output power, which makes sense given we're looking at 1 amp output, and certain 12 volt batteries are charged at around 15 volts. The device itself is surprisingly compact, just 3 by 2 inches. It has an interesting shape built into the body, and the plastic feels robust enough for the job. We have a main LED in the center and smaller indicator lamps below showing the different modes. Below those is the only button on the NOCO Genius1, which we can press to toggle between modes. To the left and right of the button are some other status indicator lights. On the back, we see the 2-pin AC power plug. The text shows the maximum input power of 18 watts AC and maximum output power of 1 amp. On the other end of the cable, we have NOCO's X-Connect connector with a cap. Now let's plug in the clamps. The connectors fit together smoothly and are held in place with a small clasp. We have no complaints about the exterior of the Genius 1. The industrial design fits the purpose and is more interesting than your average AC adapter. It feels well built and should survive the rigors of the suburban garage. Plugging it in, the Genius 1 cycles through its LEDs, then a solid orange power LED lights up. Our power meter shows an initial draw of 0.3 watts at startup and pretty much zero idle draw. Our test car today is a 2016 Smart 4.2 with a turbocharged gasoline engine at the rear and a dual clutch transmission. We just installed a new 12-volt AGM battery. As expected, since batteries often lie around for a while on the shelf at warehouses and retail shops, this one was initially not fully charged. We don't need to manually charge the battery, but with the NOCO Genius1 we can, making life easier for your car's alternator. The car's heads-up display shows the battery voltage at 12.1 volts. There are lots of variables involved in estimating the state of charge, but we can use this graph for a very rough idea. So 12.1 volts would put us at around 50 to 60% state of charge. Let's assume 55%. We have a 12 volt, 60 amp hour battery. That means to fully charge the battery, we'd need to put in 45% of 60, so 27 amp hours, times 12 volts equals 324 watt hours, or 0.324 kilowatt hours of energy. If we were to charge at the Genius 1's peak output of 1 amp throughout, we'd need 32.4 hours. Realistically, the charge curve won't be linear, so it'll be a bit longer. Let's get started. We'll open these two clips and the Smart's hood opens forward. The battery is inside on the left. Here's the battery with a red plastic flap covering the positive terminal. Let's attach the red positive clamp first, then the black negative clamp. Now we'll plug the connector into the charger. Plugging in the Genius 1, the charger initially does nothing. We'll press the button twice to select 12 volt AGM. After a few seconds, the power begins to ramp up, and we've hit sustained draw of almost 15 watts. Now we wait. Here we should mention that NOCO's included cables are a bit short. The charger's captive cable is 86 inches long, and the clamp side is 24 inches long, so the total length is just over 9 feet. That worked fine for our test, but if your AC outlet is not right next to your parking spot, you can either buy NOCO's 10-foot X-Connect extension, or just a normal extension cord. So charging is continuing at just under 15 watts. Let's leave the car overnight. Now it's the morning, about 11 hours after we started. We're still charging, though at 8.3 watts now. 8 hours later, we're at 3.4 watts, and the Genius 1's LED shows it's still charging, not full yet. We've now been charging for 20.4 hours, and we've transferred 0.22 kilowatt hours of energy to the battery. Now it's the next day, and we're still trickle charging at 3.6 watts. We've transferred 0.28 kilowatt hours of energy. An hour later, we're still at 3.6 watts, 0.28 kilowatt hours, and a total charge time of 37 hours. We're not at 100% quite yet, but close enough, and it's time to unplug. The charger is only slightly warm to the touch. Let's unplug the X-Connect junction. We'll unplug the negative clip, then the positive, then reinstall our plastic cover. Now we've added 0.28 kilowatt hours, meaning 280 watt hours. Per our original estimate, we started at 55% state of charge, so 55% times 12 volts times 60 amp hours means 396 watt hours. Plus 280 means we should now have around 676 watt hours of energy in the battery. The total capacity is 12 volts times 60 amp hours, meaning 720 watt hours. 676 over 720 means 93.9% state of charge. Accounting for some losses, let's assume 90%. The Smart's heads-up display shows us 12.7 to 12.8 volts, which squares with our estimate. Time to hit the road. Overall, we've been quite satisfied with the NOCO Genius1. It's a great solution to trickle charge your starter battery. The pros are a compact and portable design, compatibility with multiple battery types, clear indicators and an easy setup, various safety features, a repair mode for old batteries, and a fair MSRP of $39.95. The cons are the cables could be a bit longer for easier connection in some setups. The 1 amp charging rate makes the Genius more suitable for maintenance rather than quick charging, though NOCO does sell faster chargers, which we'll link below. Check out the link in the description below to see the Genius1 on Amazon. Thanks for watching. If you found this review helpful, give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe for more reviews and insights. See you next time.